Welcome. I am Day, a woman in recovery from loss, grief, trauma, and addiction. I have found that in my years of active recovery, that upon waking, it is useful for me to affirm and devote myself to the me of my recovery, the one who ties all of the pieces of me together gently and lovingly to face each day. With these daily affirmations, reflections, and devotions, walk with me on the journey of renewal and self reflection. And remember that you are not alone. Fair use, January 7th. Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. January 7th. At the turning point. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 59. Every day I stand at turning points. My thoughts and actions can propel me toward growth or turn me down the road to old habits and taboos. Sometimes turning points are beginnings, as when I decide to start praising instead of condemning someone, or when I begin to ask for help instead of going it alone. At other times, turning points are endings, such as when I see clearly the need to stop festering resentments or crippling self-seeking. Many shortcomings tempt me daily. Therefore, I also have daily opportunities to become aware of them. In one form or another, many of my character defects appear daily. Self-condemnation, anger, running away, being prideful, wanting to get even, or acting out of grandiosity. Attempting half measures to eliminate these defects merely paralyzes my efforts to change. It is only when I ask God for help with complete abandon that I become willing and able to change. Fair use. Courage to Change One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, January 7th. Just for today, I will have a quiet half hour all by myself and relax. How simple that sounded until I tried to do it. I found it difficult to spend even a little time alone. 30 quiet minutes out of my busy schedule were far too many. So I started with 5 minutes. In time, I was able to find 10, and then 20, and then 30 minutes for myself. Amazingly, these quiet half hours are restoring me to sanity. It is through these times with myself, much of which is spent in prayer and meditation, that I find the peace and power of my God. As a result, I have learned to tolerate and even enjoy my own company. Now, no matter what is going on, I need this half hour every day to get a perspective on my life. By sitting quietly in the midst of turmoil, I find that I am not alone. If I take the time, my higher power sends the message. Today's reminder: I care enough about myself to take a quiet half hour to relax. But if a half hour is more than I can manage, I can let that be all right. Whatever time I give to myself will be a step forward. If I can stop the wheels from turning for even a few minutes, my higher power can take charge and steer me in the right direction. Take rest. A field that has rested gives a beautiful crop. Ovid. Fair use. Just for today. Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, January 7th. Recovery. Narcotics Anonymous offers addicts a program of recovery that is more than just a life without drugs. Not only is the way of life better than the hell we live, it is better than any life that we have ever known. Basic text, page 107. Few of us have any interest in recovering what we had before we started using. Many of us suffered severely from physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. Getting high and staying high seemed like the only possible way to cope with such abuse. Others suffered in less noticeable but equally painful ways before addiction took hold. We lacked direction and purpose. We were spiritually empty. We felt isolated, unable to empathize with others. We had none of the things that give life its sense and value. We took drugs in a vain attempt to fill the emptiness inside ourselves. Most of us wouldn't want to recover what we used to have. Ultimately, the recovery we find it in is something different, a chance at a new life. We've been given tools to clear the wreckage from our lives. We've been given support in courageously setting forth on a new path. And we've been given the gift of conscious contact with a power greater than ourselves, providing us with the inner strength and direction we so sorely lacked in the past. Recovering? Yes, in every way. We're recovering a whole new life, better than anything we've ever dreamed possible. We are grateful. Just for today, I've recovered something I never had, something I never imagined possible, the life of a recovering addict. Thank you, higher power, in more than words can say. Fair use. Today, Emotions Anonymous, January 7th. Reflection for today. I knew my secrets were hurting me a lot. As I was being hurt, I was hurting others. I finally decided to call a secret, and I itemized them as suggested in step 4. I faced them with the one weapon that could get rid of them, honesty. Being honest with myself made it easier to be honest with others. Through looking at past mistakes, I found I could forgive myself for being human. Isn't that what I am supposed to be? While going through this self-inventory, I found I really had some strong points. This led to a new sense of confidence. Now, when I take my inventory, I know I have to have done at least one good thing today, even if it was only getting up on time. There were days in the past when I did not get up at all. Meditation for today. May I continue to take moral inventories of myself, never holding anything back out of shame or pride. Help me to be willing to recognize my assets. Today, I will remember I need to accept that I have assets. Fair use. Daily affirmations. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. January 7th. Emotional sobriety. Through meditation, we begin to visualize emotional sobriety. BRB, Big Red Book, 265. Many of us had trouble learning the rules of punctuation when we were in grade school. We wrote sentences with commas such as, "We ate the dog, I did not," which sounded like, "We ate the dog." The rules were foreign to us and seemed difficult to master. But as we trudged forward, we picked up little tips along the way, like using commas that told us to breathe, pause here. Emotional sobriety can be very much like punctuation between. Emotional sobriety can be very much like punctuation because it allows us to set limits and be more clear about our wants and needs. When we pause and breathe, life becomes more manageable. As we learn to express our unexpressed grief to others in the program, we find that they understand what we're saying because we're saying it in a way they can hear us. As we listen intently to the problem and the solution when they're read in our meetings, we learn to not only hear but absorb them. We begin to visualize what our life can be like if we practice the steps and use the tools of ACA, including meditation. We learn to pause, breathe deeply, focus, and start to make emotional sobriety a reality in our lives. On this day, I will pause and remember that just as it took time to learn the rules of punctuation in school, so too can I achieve emotional sobriety with practice and focus. But the effort is definitely worth it. Please like, subscribe, and share, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be.